I want to talk to you about your expectations concerning your relationship with Jesus Christ. I began thinking about this as I was considering other areas of life where we have expectations, possibly unrealistic expectations. For example, tabloids in the supermarket. When you're walking along and you get to the checkout, and on one side you see all these glossy magazines full of airbrushed celebrities, and even though you know with your head that they're all photoshopped and that no human really looks like that, there's still a part of your heart that says that that level of beauty or that level of fitness or that level of perfection in any area is attainable. I know that's true for me. I know it's true in so many areas. Maybe it's in marriage and you see this woman with an amazing husband and a wonderful family, and she's a great homemaker and she's doing all these great things, and you think, wow, that girl's really got it together. That girl knows what's going on, and she's got an amazing marriage. And yeah, they might fight once a year or so, but you know, if I was better at what I do, I would look like her. Now, before I go any further, you may be thinking, wait a minute, are you about to tell me that I shouldn't have goals for my Christian life or for my life in general? Are you trying to tell me that I shouldn't look at someone who's in a better place than I am and try to emulate them, try to follow their example and learn from them and become better myself? That's absolutely not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that you are just fine exactly how you are and everything in your life is as good as it can be and there's no room for improvement. Heaven knows that's not true for any of us. What I am about to say is something that I think we are apt to forget in this world of social media when we see part of everyone's life. And we see sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. A lot of times I think we go through our friends' news feeds and we only see the highlights. You know how Facebook just points out the highlights sometimes of what your friends are posting? The really popular posts like, I got engaged, I'm having a baby, I went on an amazing trip, things like that. That's what you see from your friends. And if that's all you see, then you start to think, wow, everyone else's life is so much more glamorous than mine. And it's just not true. They have nitty-gritty days too. They also have days when their husbands aren't happy with them. They also have days when they choose fast food over a delicious, nutritious smoothie. They also have days when the kids are throwing up all over the house, and that's not what you often see on Facebook. I'm blessed to have some really genuine friends who post about the good days and they post about the bad days. I'm talking about Facebook here. They're talking about the days when they're snapping at their spouses or when their kids aren't under control. But I know that a lot of you don't have those friends. You have friends who are posting glamour shots. You have friends who are posting only the good things that are happening in their lives. And that just gives you a really skewed idea about life in general. And I want to apply this to your Christian life. I want to apply this to specifically your relationship with Jesus Christ, which is the whole Christian life, after all. Maybe your Instagram feed is full of inspiring sunrise photos or carefully laid out desktops with an open Bible and a steaming mug of coffee, and underneath there's some really inspirational verse. This verse that maybe you wouldn't have gotten anything out of, but someone else has looked at this verse and they've said, wow, this has so much to say to me right now. I'm going to share it with the world. And they write 3 paragraphs full of their relevant hashtags. And it's all about how God is working in their life and how amazing God is and how wonderful their relationship with Him is. And life can be hard sometimes, but their walk with Christ makes it all worthwhile, and on and on and on. And by the time you're finished, you're like, wow, my walk with Jesus sucks because it doesn't look like that. My walk with Jesus kind of looks distant sometimes. It looks confusing. It looks conflicted. And I don't hear from God every morning. And sometimes I really don't get anything out of the Bible when I read it. You know, it doesn't look like that at all. And a certain amount of that is good because it helped you see where other people are, and it shows you that that is possible. It is possible to walk with God. It's possible to be so close to God. It's possible to have a vibrant personal relationship with God. Absolutely. But how much of what you see on social media and what you hear from your friends and what you read in books is actually real? How much of it is attainable? If you're setting a goal for something, if you want to grow in some area and you're reaching for an attainable goal, that's fantastic. It's wonderful to want to improve yourself and to do better in life. But what happens when you're reaching for something that is unattainable? You're reaching for something that is impossible. The Bible says, be perfect as I am perfect. But we know in this life there's no chance that we're going to be absolutely perfect. Only God can be perfect. And one day we will be with him and we will be perfect. But on this earth, there's not a chance that our flesh is going to let us go through more than maybe a week or two without committing a sin. I'm talking the really, really good Christians, the ones that have it all together. The rest of us, maybe a couple hours will go by and then we'll sin. But I'm not saying that you should lower your expectations and say, well, I can never be that good, so I won't try. What I'm talking about is getting frustrated with yourself because you're looking at what someone else has and you think that's the whole story. You think the inspiring Bible verses are the whole story of that person's life. What you don't realize is that that is the first close time they've had with God in a year. Or the time when this person goes traveling and you're super envious. You don't realize that they've been saving up and killing themselves, saving money and depriving themselves of all these different things, not eating out, whatever, for 5 years to afford this trip. You just look at it and you say, oh, how lucky they are. Or you see this couple get engaged and you say, why am I not engaged? It seems so easy for them, but it's not, because you haven't seen the heartbreak and the pain they've been going through their entire adult lives that's been leading up to this moment. Yes, it's beautiful. Yes, it's possible, but you're not seeing the whole story. And that's what I want to say right now. It just hit me this morning that I've been looking at other people's experiences. I've been reading their posts. I've been reading books. I've been reading magazines. I've been vicariously trying to experience the Christian life, trying to get closer to God through other people, through their experiences, through what they're talking about, what God has done in their lives. I've been trying to live my life through them instead of looking for what God has for me. Yes, there is only one God. Yes, He's the same God for all of us. But that doesn't mean our relationship with Him is going to look the same as someone else's relationship with Him. It's like if you have a friend who has another friend. You have this person in common. They're a mutual friend. But your relationship with that person is going to look totally different than the relationship they have with another friend. They might go shopping with this friend. I'm talking to girls here. They might go shopping with this friend. Maybe you don't like shopping. Maybe they know they shouldn't go shopping with you because you're no fun to shop with. Instead, they go on nature hikes with you. So they shop with this friend, they go on nature hikes with you. They're still friends with both of you. And it's the same person. But your activities, your conversation, just the way you live your lives together looks totally different. And I think that's a big key to our Christian walks. How many times are we looking to someone else to give us insight into our walk with God, when what we really should be doing is just looking to God alone and talking to Him and saying, in full honesty, God, I don't have it all figured out, and I don't know what's going on, and I just want a relationship with you. And stop listening to what all these other people are saying about their walks with God. I'm not saying stop reading books altogether, because books can be very helpful. And talking to other people about their testimonies and experiences is also very helpful. But keep in mind that there are always two sides to every story. When you read someone's heartfelt, deep, beautiful story of their relationship with God, remember that on the other side of that, there could be great tragedy. Elisabeth Elliot, for example. How many women have a relationship with their creator like Elisabeth Elliot? But imagine to yourself going through the experiences in her life that she's had to go through to get to this point. I don't know if I could do that. It's probably worth it. I know it's worth it. I know it's worth going through all that. But I haven't been through the tragedy. So can I really expect to have the same relationship with God as she does? I can have an amazing relationship with God, but it probably won't look like Elizabeth's, because I haven't lived Elizabeth's life. So I'm going to call this quits for now, but I was just wanting to share with you guys that thought that I had about how important it is to stop comparing yourself to other people in all areas of life, but very importantly in your spiritual life. Just because some other person wakes up at 5 a.m. every morning and does 2 hours of devotions and writes a book about their testimony and yada, yada, yada. Even though somebody else does that, don't ever let that make you feel inferior. As long as you are connecting with your Savior and you are experiencing a relationship with Him that is true to you and the way He created you, don't worry about what anyone else is doing. And don't let them make you feel guilty or shamed. Appreciate what God is doing in their life and appreciate what He's doing in yours. And have the good sense to separate the two and not constantly compare them. Have a great day.